Hey guys, welcome back to the biggest agricultural platform in Namibia known as Nduna Wengombe, which means headman of cattle. My name, of course, Mitchell Mutumba Simata, and I am the headman of cattle. This is in my opinion, this is the biggest agricultural platform in Namibia, and I think it's one of the fastest growing one. Sooner or later, it has to be the biggest. I just see it that way. So today is Thursday, day number 6 of the year. And today I'd love to just touch on something. So last night I was playing around on some of my social media accounts, my Instagram account, where I wrote there, had it not been for farming, I probably would have had 5 baby mamas, and it would be messy out here. But farming kept me so busy that I didn't really have time for that. And most of my relationships lasted a month, longest probably a year. And then people came through the comment section. Others were like, Jay lieg. Others were laughing. Others were like, what you mean though? And it comes back to that old saying where they say, farming is not just a business you do, it literally becomes a lifestyle. What do I mean about that? Look, I always go back to myself. When we started doing this thing in 2010, because now we've gotten into the livestock industry and we have taken a loan from the Agricultural Bank of Namibia, which is AgriBank. We are investing in buying livestock. Now, this is an investment we've taken. We need to make sure that we are able to pay it back to AgriBank. So, which meant that I had to give up some privileges as a young person, or some luxuries, let me put it that way. What do I mean about that? Let me give you an example. If you are a livestock farmer, and let's say on your farm, you're probably farming with Brahman, let's say red Brahman bulls. You spend 45,000 on 2 Brahman bulls. And now those 2 Brahman bulls, you've kept them in separate camps to prevent fighting. Each has its own herd of females. And now one day, these 2 Brahman bulls break the fence and meet each other and they fight. And the fight is so intense and so bad that one of them actually breaks its hip, injures its hip. And now you are in Windhoek, you're preparing for what was the biggest concert that recently happened, the Burna Boy concert. You're probably a big Burna Boy fan. You're looking forward to be there to hear the various songs that Burna Boy is going to perform. And now you get that call from your farm worker. He's like, since most of our farm workers like speaking Afrikaans, meneer, die bulle het gebeklei, hulle by mekaar gekom en mekaar seer gemaak. Een bul kan nie mooi stap nie. Hy stap baie sleg op sy regte agterbeen. Which means the bulls came together, they fought, they injured each other. One bull is not walking is not putting weight on its left hind leg. And now, you already paid your Burna Boy tickets, you paid your VIP, you're ready, you got your outfit, you got everything on flick, you're ready to go. But you can't, because it's time to go to the farm. You have to leave everything, you have to fuel your bakkie or your little car you have, probably have the bakkies on the farm, your little town car, your BMW, GTI, whatever it is you're driving, plaster. Because you need to attend to this. Or if you're a horticulture farmer and you're using smart farming, for example, your green schemes, your greenhouses, you've planted your green peppers in there. And let's say the irrigation machine, the machine that automates the irrigation breaks down. You gotta literally, you're not gonna go to Burna Boy, you're gonna leave everything, you're gonna get into your car and you're gonna go to the farm. And you're gonna pray that at least you finish this up before Burna Boy, before the Burna Boy show. Worst case scenario, you don't finish this up before the Burna Boy show. You literally have to come. You literally have to probably overnight there. So you get to the farm, you do the best you can. If there's still some daylight, you call the vet out if he can come out that day. If he can't, he has to come out the next day. So which means you have to sleep on the farm. You need to put this bull of yours that got injured, one side injected with whatever and anti-inflammation medication, monitor it, see how it's working. And if your plants and your irrigation is not working, you probably have to stay on the farm and you have to now start, you and your workers now probably have to start taking a bucket and manually irrigating your green peppers now in your greenhouse. So that's what farming is. This is why people say farming is not just a business, it literally becomes a lifestyle. Because you have to give up so many things. It's like being given an option. You got your 2 hands, right? You got your right hand, you got your left hand. And then you're being told you have to chop off, you have to give up your left hand in order to keep your right hand. And that's what has to happen with farming. If I sit down and look at things like how many social events I missed out, how many uh, house parties I missed out, how many chill sessions with my friends I've missed out. Now most of my friends are just numbers in my phone. I haven't really been involved in their lives because I was so busy for 11 years. 11 years became a routine. It was weekends you go to the farm, sometimes weekdays you go to the farm if there's a damaged pipe or there's an emergency on the farm, you just give up everything. This is why you see that when most people who usually get involved in agriculture would literally sell up their townhouse in Windhoek or wherever they live, you probably live in near coastal town, Swakopmund, wherever you live, you'd sell it and you'd move full time on the farm because you can't afford to be far away from your farm. It literally consumes up all your life, you know. This is why I remember one of my favorite magazines, Farmers Weekly, and even Landbou, Vehicles, used to do this, that they would have a section where farmers would write, looking for a wife, age what, I am what, I'm looking for this type of woman. They used to have those columns to try to set up dates for farmers so farmers can be able to meet and date because we probably, depending on what level your business is, you probably don't have time even for social events. It's a lot of work just for you to be away from the farm and to probably go on a date. You don't even have that. This is why you'd see some farming families have actually sidestepped that and started doing what some of the Europeans used to do back in the day, and also some of the Arabic countries would do, which is arranged marriages. Sometimes you'd see the farmers would arrange their fruition whereby you'd have my daughter has to marry my neighbor's child because both of them are being born by farming families. So chances are they won't be lonely. It's a very lonely business sometimes. But I would say find a balance. Don't be like me because look, I wanted to be the best cattle breeder in Namibia. I wanted to beat out all the cattle breeders in this country. I was looking at guys like mentors, people I respect, people I look up to, guys like Houston Groenewald, Albert Jero, Escavari. These are Brahman breeders in this country. Simbra side, I was looking at guys like the Mitziger family. I was looking at the Wilkins family. I was looking at the Urip. I hope I'm saying it right. Urip family. I wanted to beat those guys out. So my mission was to become the best cattle breeder in the country. And I'm sure when many of us get into this business, you always have a mindset of, I want to be the best horticulture farmer. So if you want to be the best, you need to be able to do the hard yards. It's like one motivational speaker always would say, what is his name? Eric Thomas, E.T. He'd always say, everybody wants to be a beast, but nobody wants to do the beast work. And that beast work means you have to literally let go of things. You have to let go of the Xboxes, the iPhones, the nice things now. You need to get your hands dirty. And it means you have to give up on social events. But like I said, I would advise you to get a balance. Get a balance. Probably say weekdays are for work. For you and your farm, you probably stay on the farm for the weekdays. Weekends are for you. Hire competent workers who can do the work when you're not around, who do not need you to be there 24/7. Need you to be there 24/7 because you can't, how do I put it? You can't just be focusing on your farming and not focus on the other side of life because we're human beings. We are social beings. We need friends. We need girlfriends. We need to have a certain form of a relationship with people. I remember I went to this one farm in the Omaheke, which is the eastern part of Namibia, the one bordering Botswana. I went that side. And I went to this farm, myself and an uncle of mine, because my uncle was busy looking for land to lease. We got to that farm. That farmer is not married. He doesn't have kids. He's just him and his dog and his dogs. I think he had like 2 or 3 dogs. It's a lonely lifestyle, man. This thing is lonely. This is why, because literally some farms are in the middle of nowhere. You don't get to see other people. The only people you get to see are sometimes your neighbors once in a while, or your neighbors once in a while, or you get to see people just driving past your farm. It's just dust you see. It's a lonely business. And it's very lonely. And sometimes when you get used to that being alone, you never break that cycle. This is why I have heard of white and black farmers who literally died alone because they were just 24 hours on their farm. Everything they did was just farming, 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 farming. And they never took time for the other part of life, which is having a social life. Many farmers think go to social media, are probably one of the biggest social media users. This is why you see many farmers have YouTube channels. Many of them have Facebook pages, have Instagram pages, are on social media, because that's how they keep in contact with their friends. Because, like I said, if you are a cattle farmer, you probably need to be most of the time on the farm. And if you don't have competent workers who can actually do the work, who do not need you to be there, yeah, no, guys, do this, do this, do this, do this, who can do it on their own. You can have the luxury, you can have the type of lifestyle like Mr. Johan Rupert, where you can have your farm, your grape farm, and you can not live on your grape farm. You have enough time to run other businesses. But if you don't have competent workers, you'll find yourself literally living on your farm, literally having to do everything, giving up your other side. You won't have time for other things. And this is why you'd see some farm families would enroll their children into schools which have hostels. Kids would go to boarding school because you would not be able to have that up and down. But now I'm starting to see a trend whereby some farmers are breaking that. They are literally involved in their kids' lives. Some of them wake up very early, drive their kids to school, and then go pick their kids up and bring them back to the farm, which is a change. So I think you can get the balance, but like I said, it all starts off at what level your business is. It all starts off at how competent your workers are. Hiring competent workers that can do the work, they don't need you to be there. All you need to do is just monitor, come in maybe on a Friday and just come see, or probably nowadays with all the smart technologies that is coming in, a lot of the automation that's coming in, all you can do, you can monitor everything from the cell phone. You don't necessarily need to be any more physically on the farm. You can be attending a conference in England. You could be on a date with a woman you've probably been interested in, or a man you've probably been interested in. You don't need to be 24/7 at the farm. But if you don't have competent workers, you probably have to give up some of the luxuries, some of the nice things. You have to give up your Golf GTI and buy yourself an old Bucky. You have to give up your nice living room with a nice TV setup for probably an old farmhouse that doesn't even have indoor plumbing. So those are the things. And like I said, it depends on what level. But with agriculture, why people say it literally becomes a lifestyle is because you have to sacrifice a lot of things. But I think moving forward, my generation and the next generation, we probably have to find a lifestyle where we don't need to give up a lot of things, like the social things, still being able to go to family gatherings, friend parties, dates, chills, traveling to Durban or wherever your friends are going to go have a boys' night out. We need to find a balance. But for most of the time, we don't really get balances. We literally get to miss a lot of life because, like I said, you planning to go to Burna Boy and your phone rings at 2 o'clock the Saturday night. The Burna Boy concert is a Sunday, and you're being told the irrigation system is not working. Now you need to go to the farm to try and fix it. If you can't fix it, you have to go back to physically watering your plants. Your bull's fault, or one of your cows broke the fence and they went out of the farm. They're in your neighbor's farm. They're missing. Now you have to go and try and look for them and find them and bring them back to the farm. These things literally consume and take up so much time. It's like this one quote that I heard that said, if you ever think you have your life in order, buy a goat farm or just buy a farm and then see if you really have your life in order. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to say bye for now.